What's up, NBA fans? Dom2K on the mic, and today I'm going to be talking about one of my pet peeve topics, and I have a couple of videos where I've done this. This specific topic about Kevin Durant's decision and how it relates to LeBron, I really wanted to cover about 6 months ago when it actually happened. However, people were all over the topic and I just kind of slid it under the rug. However, in light of some of the comments Steve Nash just made, I got really interested in discussing the topic again, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. And here's the thing, so ever since Kevin Durant decided to join the historic 73-9 Warriors roughly 6 months ago, I feel like people have been using the circumstances surrounding his situation to, I don't know, try and clear LeBron of any wrongdoing in 2010. However, as we're approaching the halfway mark of this season, I've also noticed sort of a double standard that exists surrounding the two situations. Now, before I get into all of that, I wanted to discuss Nash's perspective on everything and start from there, because if you haven't heard, Nash, and he's in the player development for the Warriors, he recently weighed in on both LeBron and Kevin Durant's decisions. He said, quote, "I think from the outside, people look at it and go, he went to the best team available, but that's the same thing LeBron did as a free agent the last two times. He went to Miami and Cleveland to join two max players. When he was doing that, there didn't happen to be 3 All-Stars as there was with the Warriors last July, or maybe he would have gone to that one." And when he made these comments, people went off. They were furious, you know, all the comparisons about their moves started again, and I thought it was a very interesting quote because many people disagreed with it, including myself partially. You're gonna see what I mean by that in a minute. But part of the reason I wanted to make this video is because I feel like when people disagree with the statement in a certain way, they're sort of pushing an agenda, a one that says LeBron did nothing wrong, Kevin Durant's a real villain here. And to me, it's just unfair to do that because the premise of their moves was the same, their situations were just very different. So here's what's been getting on my nerves. When people talk about LeBron James' first departure, they say LeBron joined a 47-win, 5th seed Miami Heat team to create a super team and win championships, and without him, it's been proven that the team is nothing. I've seen something similar to this argument almost any time LeBron and Durant's decision get compared, and honestly, this statement is the exact definition of what a half-truth is. See, when you call Miami the 47-win 5th seed team, you're pretty much implying that LeBron went out on a limb, joined a struggling team, and propped them up to championship status. Now, he did prop them up to championship status, no doubt, but the real truth to that is that LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh were thinking of joining forces around 4 years before that actually even became a reality, and Bosh signed with Miami before LeBron just to make sure that plan was ready to go. It is true that they all shopped around with other teams to make sure Miami was what they all actually wanted, but at the end of the day, what you had here is 3 of the top players in the NBA at the time joining forces with the idea that they were creating a dynasty-worthy team, and that's a dynasty that definitely would have happened if either LeBron showed up in the 2011 finals or if Wade's health didn't decline as the years went on. So to me, the first part of that whole 47-win team, to me that's agenda-based, and you know what, it's been nearly 7 years since the decision, time flies, it's pretty crazy, but it's like people want you to believe the team LeBron went to wasn't that good when in fact they threw a huge party on live TV titled Yes We Did just to celebrate the fact that they had 3 players that good on the same team. I know it's been a long time, but for those of us who lived through that era and remember it even before it, you know, 3 players as talented as LeBron, Wade, and Bosh joining forces at the time, that was unheard of. What a lot of people also say is that the Heat were nothing without LeBron, and their strongest support for that argument is that, well, just look at the Heat, you know, look what they did without him after he left in 2014. To me, that's another agenda because A, we rarely ever got to see what a healthy Heat team looked like without LeBron, being that they caught the injury bug pretty much as soon as he left. B, a lot of players left that Heat roster besides LeBron after 2014, and C, a healthy Wade and Bosh joining in 2010, you know, those 2 players joining forces was still going to be a great team, and I think people underrate that fact. People seem to ignore for that year that Wade was still performing at an elite level and Bosh was a 24-10 guy before taking a reduced role so that, you know, all 3 of them could play together. So say LeBron doesn't join that Miami team in 2010. They either use that contract money to sign another star or they use it to fill out a team around the prime Wade and Bosh, so that was going to turn out pretty good either way. Now, am I saying that LeBron James didn't completely transform that team? Nah, of course I'm not saying that, because the dude transforms any team he goes to. But to act like he was just nice enough to go to a sucky Miami team and do them a favor, to me that is the purest form of revisionist history. But, you know, okay, does all that mean that Steve Nash was right about what he said? Not quite, in my opinion. You know, at the end of the day, Nash and Durant, they're good friends, and I get that he's just protecting his guy, but Durant's move was still a lot worse. It was just handled better. I've been long quoted saying I'm not mad at Durant for what he did, but that doesn't mean I don't accept what was wrong about it. See, LeBron joined the team with the idea of creating a dynasty with those guys, which could have been done, but Durant joined a team that, quite honestly, it would still be pretty close to being the favorites to win today, even if he hadn't came along to play for him. And as a matter of fact, this is where the double standard starts to set in. There's no question that LeBron brought on a lot of negative attention by having a TV special announcing his decision and then taking part of a party in which he said many foolish things, but okay, let's just erase all that, say that never happens. Let's say instead LeBron joins the Boston Celtics that year after he lost to them in the semifinals. You think the hate the Heat got in 2010 was a lot? I can't even visualize the type of hate LeBron would have got for doing what KD has done this year, but don't you guys notice something? Up to this point in this season, the hate for Kevin Durant relative to what LeBron got in 2010 really hasn't been all that much. I mean, sure, people are killing Durant in the Facebook comment section and they're calling him all type of nasty names and choker and all of that, but man, so far that hate really hasn't been what you'd expect. He's not getting booed every single time he touches the ball in another arena. The world doesn't crumble every time the Warriors lose. Hell, they lost last night and I don't even think anybody really cares that much. And the hate from Oklahoma wasn't even as intense as it was from Cleveland, but I mean that part is understandable because LeBron was from Cleveland, so that part was probably worse for a reason. But either way, the hate for Kevin Durant has definitely fallen short of what people expected it to be. So we all expected he was going to be some huge villain character and it was going to play out exactly like it did when LeBron went to Miami, but in my opinion that has definitely fallen short. If you don't believe me, you think I'm just making this up, LeBron even said himself back in a 2011 interview that when he was playing his first season in Miami, he just went ahead and accepted that villain role, but that was bad for him because he wasn't approaching basketball from a place of fun anymore. Dwayne Wade said after one of their losses, he said that he knew the world was a better place because the Heat were losing. It was that type of thing, you just really had to live through it to kind of remember how that hate was for that team. But so far up to this point, the hate that Durant and the Warriors are getting, it's just not as intense as the hate the Heat were getting, and that's the bit of the double standard to me because I don't even know. I can't imagine if LeBron would have went to Boston, he would not have gotten off this easily for joining a championship team that beat him. But back to what I said earlier between LeBron and Durant, the premise of their moves was the exact same, and I think that's where Steve Nash is correct. Maybe how it happened isn't the same, maybe the circumstances aren't the same, but the premise was the same. LeBron joined a team that was going to give him the greatest chance to create a dynasty, and he clearly believed he was doing that from what he says here. And for Durant, it was the same exact thing. He wasn't as vocal about it, but he too joined a team that he believed would be unbeatable for the foreseeable future if he joined them. And Steve Nash actually has a good point because he talks about that. He says, quote, "And one thing I told him, if he doesn't make a move like this, there's nothing stopping a free agent next year from joining the Warriors in this spot. If he doesn't sign with the Warriors, he loses an opportunity where he's in complete control and has his own choice, and he took advantage of it." So from that standpoint, Durant's move is almost justifiable. I'll probably get killed for saying that, but just check it out. From what Steve Nash just said, what if Durant stayed on the Thunder and another free agent joins the Warriors? Now what? He's stuck in a conference facing a super team he can't ever beat. And the same goes for LeBron back in 2010. What if he and Wade and Bosh didn't join forces? Would any one of them on their own teams have ever eliminated Boston before around the year 2012 or 2013? I mean, it really looks like Boston probably had a good 3 more years on top if somebody wasn't going to join forces and take them out. So that's just food for thought. At the end of the day, my opinion on both of them is that, there's a lot of half-truths and double standards surrounding both of their decisions, and I'm not mad at either one of them for what they did. I've said it before and I'll say it again, when you're a player as great as these two, you really can't win in the public's eye. If you win a championship, people are going to find a way to delegitimize it, and it's going to, they'll say things like the team was too good, or you didn't do it in the right city, or for LeBron, it was the lockout in his first championship. Whatever it may be, people are going to try to tear you down on your ring, so you can't win on that set. And if you don't win a championship, every time you offer criticism on TV after retirement, all you're going to hear is, "Oh, who is this guy? How high is he talking? Does he have a ring? Why didn't he win a ring?" And you can look no farther than Charles Barkley and some other legends right now, how they get treated every time they say something. So to me, it's a no-win situation. So I give these guys props for being some of the first players to take complete control of their destinies and, just not care what other people think. I want to be clear as I wrap this video up, there was no bias here and I did not take sides here. I was just literally pointing out things I see and I'm answering to them. So, when you say that LeBron James joined this 47 win team, that, that's the truth, but you know, tell the full truth, because it's not like he went there and there was just nothing there. He went there full on knowing that Chris Bosh was going to come there, and then in the later years, everyone wanted to play for Miami. You had Ray Allen come down there, Birdman, Battier. They had a nice roster by the time they closed that Big Three thing out. And then I was very unbiased because I also pointed out the double standard here that Kevin Durant did something that I'm pretty sure even years ago, if LeBron would have done, he would still be getting crucified for playing for a Boston team like that. That would have been ugly, and to me, the haters just fell short. Either way, I want to know you guys' opinion. I really want to know what you guys think about what Steve Nash said, and if what I said kind of made you see it from a different perspective, because overall, like I said, my opinion with Nash is just that the premise of their moves was the same, but of course the circumstances were different. But I want to know what you guys think about that, what you think about like the half-truths that I mentioned in the double standards, and maybe why Kevin Durant doesn't get cooked the way LeBron did back in 2010. I'd love to hear all of that. I'm going to read through them. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'm Dom2K, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. And I'm just sliding back in to tell you, if you do plan on subbing, hit that bell next to my name or you're not going to get my videos. Alright, I'm gone for real this time. See y'all later.